What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy, MM2K, here with your co-host, Cold Blood Sensei. Cold Blood, what's going on, good brother? How you been, man?
Good, brother, good.
Oh,
now
man.
that I had a weekend to think about this dog shit, instead of play.
Well, we're still going to talk about
it.
Yeah, go ahead. You good? Well, I think we're still going to talk about it. I mean, we got a member show today. I had a video lined up that I recorded like on the go over the weekend that I was supposed to upload for you guys. I'm going to still upload that later tonight. Something went wrong. Something's going on with YouTube. YouTube is acting like real janky. But yeah, you know, we're going to share our thoughts on that. There's definitely a lot to talk about there because as far as Cold Blood and I are concerned, and I know a lot of you may not agree with us, but we can only speak our truths. PlayStation is not out of the clear. You know what I'm saying? They are not out of the clear. They're not out of the woods. There's a lot that needs to be answered, and we're going to be talking about that throughout the week. But today, for the most part, we're going to focus on Silverback's after Series S. We're going to be focusing on this news that hit us last week, but kind of got like muffled because of all the stuff that was going on with PlayStation, all the hating, all the false criticisms, all the correct criticisms. And that's this story that I think is very, very important that we did not want to leave behind. And that is the fact that the Xbox Series S has officially been labeled, if you are to believe the story that this was translated from, that a developer has officially come out and said, with in no untethered words, unless they're going to say, oh, this was translated improperly. The Series S affected how we made this game for everyone. And that shouldn't be a shock. But we want to talk about this because so many people have been in denial. So many people want to sit there and say, oh, only the haters bring this up. And we want to put this in your face because it is now undeniable, right? With that said, do us a huge favor, everybody. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, rock those bells for notifications, please. So you know when we're dropping these doses. There's a lot to talk about. We see y'all in the chat. What's up, everybody? Good to see you folks again. We got Ron Slusher. He's responding to the video that we had earlier today, or right before this. And if you missed that video, don't worry. It's going to re-air as the spill, as we do every time we have a podcast. It's going to re-air at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're going to end shop here around 4 o'clock, maybe a little bit after, at the top of the next hour, the following hour at 5 p.m. Eastern. That will air. So you'll get to see that again. All right. But yeah, Ron Slusher was responding to what we said in that video. Yeah, Stadia in so many ways did make some ripples. It made two big ripples for Xbox, particularly. Number one, it forced them to release the Series S. And number two, you know, the fact that Call of Duty, they're not trying to make Call of Duty exclusive. You got to thank Google for that. And if Google didn't dry snitch on them and go to the CMA, there are no 10-year deals, right? What PlayStation tried to do didn't work. And if it wasn't for Google going and snitching and saying, look what they did with Bethesda, and look at all this other stuff that they did, it would be a lot more catastrophic than what we see it is right now. But that's here nor there. You know, oh, we got True Virgil. Hold on, let's respond to everybody. We got, he says, F the Series S is Silverback. We got the real Levon Case in the house. He says, what's up, everybody? He says, this True Virgil says the state of play was trash. It was absolutely trash. There's no denying it. There's no denying it, True Virgil. You're not going to get any fight from us. I think the bigger question in Cold Blood, I don't know what you think about this. The bigger question is, can Xbox capitalize? Do you think they'll capitalize on this state of play?
Better.
You say you don't. You said they're going to mess it up somehow. Oh, hello? Oh. I thought he said they
I didn't understand what you said, bro.
No, I said do you think that Xbox will be able to capitalize? They'll be able to shine
Yes,
brighter.
yes, I said they better.
They better. Oh, I thought you said they won't.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm a little bit more hopeful. But yeah, again, this is a true Virgil. I don't know what you were expecting. You weren't expecting a fight, but comes great responsibility with that. The PlayStation showcase is over with. We still got a lot to talk about. We still left scratching our heads about plenty of things, but I think the bigger question is Xbox going to capitalize? Even though this was a showcase, even though this wasn't a showcase and this wasn't a state of play, PlayStation still fumbled the ball, and perception is 9/10 of the law. There's no backing away from that. With that said, if Xbox cannot outshine a state of play in that particular state of play, if they can't do better, because the bar is low. I know people are going to say it's unfair, cold blood. Oh, that was a state of play. Doesn't matter. If you know that's what they're doing, and you know that you guys are still competing for some of the same dollars, like people are going to make a decision. They got $70 this holiday season. Am I buying Astrobot or am I buying Stalker 2? That's for those that don't utilize Game Pass. And everybody doesn't use Game Pass. If everybody did use Game Pass, then Game Pass would be a lot more successful as it is. Some people, might look at Stalker 2 on PC, you know what I'm saying, and say, oh, I want to buy it or whatever the case may be. Or they might buy it directly off the Xbox store. Who knows? If you're competing for the same dollar, if you know the people that you're competing with have a showcase coming, even if you're going to do something in a smaller scale, at least be that thing that you do in a smaller scale. Let it be right. That didn't happen. So, yeah, you're not going to get any debate from us. Popped in to see any host slander, says Tiers. The real Levon Casey says Series S needs 12 gigabytes of RAM. I don't disagree with that at all. Blue Fire Demon says, didn't Larian Studios say that the Series S brought more optimization? No, see, that was, yeah. Okay. So here's what happened with that Blue Demon Fire. In them trying to optimize the game the best way that they could, in them doing more optimization, they came across some bottlenecks that they could fix. Now, did they find those sooner because of the Series S? Sure. But I've seen this before, Cold Blood, where people are like, hey, the Series S created more optimization. That would be like me owning a car, right? And because the car that I have only takes a specific amount of gas, which I wasn't told of when I bought it. I was told that it could take unleaded everything, but now I find out it only takes 94 gas, right? So then, because it only takes 94 gas, and 94 gas is hard to come across in my location, I drive all the way out to Timbuktu and I find a gas station that has really cheap gas, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, in me trying to find this really cheap gas, trying to find 94 gas, I end up finding a gas station that has cheaper than average gas. But the fact of the matter is, I still had to drive all the way out there to get that gas. So I'm losing the value narrative altogether. And that was a fluke. It is not common that when people have to optimize to this level, they are going to find bottlenecks like this. This was just an oversight by Larian Studios. And and by them trying to optimize for the Series S, they caught an oversight. This is not something that's akin to, oh, well, the Series S makes you optimize and have to do better optimization. So you're going to find more efficiencies. No. This was an oversight with the Series S. So like in that example that I just gave, if there was an oversight in a car dealer forgetting to tell me about such and such type of gas that my car finds into, and I stumble across a gas station, that doesn't mean, oh, this is a good car dealer. Let's go get more cars that he can misinform us about. No, absolutely not. The fact of the matter is that Xbox gamers had to wait longer in order to get this game because of the whole parity thing. They are getting lesser performance. The Xbox Series X, people paid $500 for the Xbox Series X, right? And they're not getting their dollars worth because they were told they were getting the most powerful console in the world. They are splitting hairs with a console that's $100 less. That's the same scenario they was in with the Xbox One. So no wonder why they're doing worse than the Xbox 360 now. And the Xbox 360 came off to a slow start. So yeah, that's coincidental. There was an oversight by Larian Studios. Larian Studios, in having to do all this extra work that cost them money for the lesser selling Xbox console, they came across an oversight of theirs. And they fixed the oversight. It's not that, the Series S makes you a better developer. That's not what's happening in Blue Demon Fire, But I appreciate the comment, yeah. And I appreciate the opportunity of you having me respond to that comment, because I feel like maybe you heard some of that rhetoric too, and you were like, oh, that's cool. The Series S, lets you be more efficient. That's not what's happening. They stumbled across an oversight because they had to do all this extra work. You know what I mean? But I think if you go back to go ahead.
No,
I thought you were going to say something.
There is a difference here.
Mm-hmm.
We have to take in consideration. We literally have how much percentage they said they're gonna have less of a game now because of this?
25% less.
25% less of a game. That has nothing to do with fucking optimization now.
Exactly.
We're talking about content missing literally for everybody because the Series S exists.
Yep.
That is way worse than what Larian had to do.
Yeah. Yep. Totally agree. I couldn't have said any better. Yep. But I understand I understand if you heard that Demon Fire. T. Harris said, true version. You wouldn't know what trash is, you Xbox. It says this was already proven wrong by Stadia. By Starfield. What does Starfield have to do with anything? Y'all mean as in first party or game reveals? No, I'm not talking about first party. I'm just talking about appealing to your hardcore. Like what Xbox is doing right now with their showcases, they're starting to appeal to their hardcore fan base, which, you could argue that the hardcore fan base loves everything that they do, but I think legitimately this time around, they have if I were to look at the potentiality of this showcase, I'm looking at that and I'm like, that's not too bad. I couldn't say that in previous years for Xbox. It's not horrible. I could care less about Avowed. Avowed still looks like butt milk to me. Indiana Jones looked cheesy, but whatever. It's, might not be horrible. I think Machine Games is a capable developer. Even though Indiana Jones just looks like a cheap Wolfenstein knockoff with Indiana aesthetic. But they could release a Gear 6 that looks phenomenal. They could have a better release for Fable. You know what I'm saying? Stalker 2. No telling what Stalker 2 might look like if this is going to be in the showcase. That will decimate what PlayStation just did. And then I'm hearing rumors. I don't know if you heard this cold blood over the weekend. I heard that, because PlayStation is doing that, or PlayStation apologists are doing that whole, there's going to be another showcase, which we don't know, right? I would expect one around the PlayStation 5 Pro, but they're trying to make it seem like that beyond the PlayStation 5 Pro, we're going to hear a whole bunch of cool shit in regards to games, right? And I'm hearing that those cool games is the fucking Lego Horizon Zero Dawn game and some other rinky-dinky bullshit. Like, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. You might as well just have shown this in the State of Play 2. You have a whole hardcore base that don't want you resting on your laurels that want you to continue to do stuff, right? So, I mean, I don't know. You guys can make excuses just because we're criticizing PlayStation. We're not saying that we think Xbox is better. Even if we say Xbox has a better second half of the year, I'm not trading in my PlayStation stuff for an Xbox. Hell no, not at this point. But I'm not going to sit there and just continue to wave a flag so you can feel good about your purchase decision on the inside. I don't give a shit about what you purchase. I mean, I care about you finding what you like, but I'm not going to let that stop me in exfoliating what I like, right? So if I'm expecting some hardcore content, at least something for the holiday season, like this will be the first time, Cold Blood, and your thoughts on this real quick, and then we'll just completely move on to Kingdom Come Deliverance, because I know that's what everybody's here for. But we still got shit to get off our chest. This will be the first time that I can remember, Cold Blood, that for the holiday season, PlayStation had no game for its hardcore base that I can remember. Is that right from your recollection?
It depends what you like. If you didn't like Death Stranding, then you had a very bad 2019.
I mean, yeah, you can sit there and say, well, Death Stranding may not have been the best, but it was a Kojima game. It's a hardcore game. You know, I mean, I wasn't the biggest Death Stranding fan, but
sure didn't sound like it from Post Up and everybody. Sounded more like a comedy show.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I mean, I wasn't a big fan of it, but I'm not going to deny that it was a hardcore. I mean, that's why I was so critical on it. But at least it was a hardcore offering, and you know, it was divisive, but people, it started getting its flowers after the fact. You know what I'm saying? I think what people were looking for was like this blowout action game from Kojima, and they didn't get it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But at least they attempted something for the hardcore. Like, who was Concord for? Nobody asked for a 5v5, another hero shooter. We're going to talk about that, you know, but whatever.
Let's talk about Concord when it's actually out.
Yeah, we'll do that. I mean, we're going to have a membership.
Right now, all I can tell you is nobody asked for it.
Nobody asked for it. Exactly. And that's why it's getting, you know, it might come out and might be a cool game.
No, now,
you know,
look, now it's PlayStation's job to sell this game to you.
Exactly. Totally.
If they can do it by launch, it's gonna be fucking dead on arrival.
Yup. Especially now, Cold Blood, they want you to pay for this shit, right? And the games that it's mimicking, both Destiny and Overwatch, are free to play. So yeah, it's their job. I'm not gonna make no excuses for them. Am I still going to play Spider-Man 2 and finish Stellar Blade and all that shit and be excited for the PS5 Pro? Yeah, I can. You can walk and chew gum. You can do all that and still be like, what the fuck were y'all doing for this holiday season? There's nothing wrong with that. Capitalize, they're dead and their games are coming to PlayStation. What are we doing here? Look.
Yeah, that's why I said they better show this time.
Mm-hmm.
Because it comes to PlayStation and they expect us to pay money for their fucking games.
Look, let me tell you something. T-Harris, you're looking at the shorter picture. Let me ask you a question. T-Harris, let me ask you a question. Do you want Xbox to continue to buy up massive studios and own the gaming space, like the way that they plan to? Do you want them to pick up Take-Two next and Square? Do you want that? Because if the answer is yes, then you can ignore it and be like, oh yeah, if they have a blowout, any success that they see, and I'm not saying they don't deserve it if they put out good games. They put out good games, they deserve to, but be mindful that if they have a good showcase and they really start getting people excited about their product and people start hopping on their shit, that's more money in their pocket to do the things that they want to do, like we saw with Activision Blizzard. I don't think you want that. So their success outside of the console war, you still need to be cognizant of. Because if they start snatching shit and PlayStation can't partner with people, I mean, yeah, they'll still have their first party games, but now they're talking about it's going to be longer for them to make those first party games. You got to be cognizant. You got to look at the big picture. Everything ain't about just simply the console war. This is about Microsoft trying to do Microsoft type things in gaming, and where they can, you know, sneak in and do some little gimmicky things here and gimmicky things there and see success. The all more dangerous it could be for gamers like you and I, so you better pay attention. Demon says the guy that represents Game Awards said the hype is 7 to 8, 10. It's a calm year. Yeah, he did say that. We did note that earlier. Blue Demon Fire 44. So yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah.
So what? Wait. The last year's was a 10 out of 10 for him?
Probably for him.
Brother, you should be fucking worried right now.
Yeah.
If this is a slow year, and the shit he's been showing us the last few years, bro.
Yep.
Oh, this is
lesser
gonna be
than that.
This is gonna be a sleep fest, bro.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if the big thing that PlayStation got to show was that fucking Lego game, like, bruh.
No. If
that's their big reveal.
No. I'm gonna become fucking. Oh no, it's Alex right now. Oh no, don't do this.
Oh shit. I'm sorry, y'all. We don't cap here, man. We have our preferences. We know what's good, and we gonna pump up what's objectively good with the community. But this is the no cap zone. That's why I wish one of these motherfuckers would try to clip us and be like, yo, look at these fanboys. Oh, we would destroy them. I wish. I'm hoping. We don't cap here. This is the no cap zone. It's very easy for us to just rest our laurels on the business strategy and say, suck it, PC gamers, y'all suck or whatever. No, we're gonna be honest here. I mean, we could talk about Hellblade. We can criticize Hellblade. We can criticize PlayStation. We can go back and criticize this shit with the Series S, and we can go back and talk about if that Horizon Lego game is what they drop. Everybody gets this work. Anybody can get it. PlayStation 3 caught up to Xbox 360 like a LeBron chase down block. It's my bad, MM2K. No, you're good, brother. You're good. Nah, I'm just saying, I'm happy that you put the question out there or you put the comment out there. Ain't no problem, man. I'm just saying in general, the people that fed that information, not you. You're not at fault. The people that fed that information. I remember when they did it and we had to respond to it. Silverback says the PS3 had a drought, the PlayStation 4 has a drought, but they came back strong. Yeah, I'm not saying Sony's not coming back. That's what I'm saying. Nobody is saying that PlayStation can't come back from this. I'm just saying that Cold Blood and we're going to talk about that with the members. Become a member. We still got to flesh out what our members giveaway is going to be. Cold Blood and I got to talk about that. And then we got new content. We're going to try to do a little bit more regular content for you members, whether it's me or Cold Blood and myself, whatever. We're going to try to get something out there every day for y'all. So, yeah, that along with the members giveaway will make the membership all the more valuable. But yeah, you're going to want to check out our member stream tomorrow because it's going to be no holds barred. Like, we're letting all this shit out tomorrow and we hope that you're ready for it. Yeah, but yeah, nobody's saying that Xbox is now going to take over. I'm not doing that fucking funky ass Destin Legary hand chart that he did. I'm not doing that. Well, yeah, I think it's going to even out.
Oh, if anyone got that from me saying they better show out.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, exactly.
Xbox ain't taking shit
Yeah,
over.
ain't taking shit. Yeah, like, and that's what I'm Cold Blood. I don't know. Stop me and shut me up if I'm going too far. That is the problem out here in this community. It's like too black and white. Like y'all carry pitchforks And y'all just look at it as you got to be for PlayStation or you're against PlayStation. You got to be for Xbox or you're against Xbox. Now, I'm going to say the Xbox side is a lot more worse than that. At least on the PlayStation side, when people disagree about what's happening with PlayStation, we can have debate. But I'm just urging some of you guys that even though you foster debate and you allow it, don't look at this as in we're thinking that Xbox is taking over. We're not saying that. We're saying that Xbox is going to have possibly a better bang out holiday season, which that's nothing to sneeze at. It doesn't mean that they're taking over, but it means that, like, even like Cold Blood had alluded to 2019 with Death Stranding, you know, maybe not their best year, right? But they still fucking outdone Xbox significantly. You could have a situation where Xbox, you know, they're like, damn, there's nothing from PlayStation I'm interested in. I mean, Astrobot is cool, but not really my cup of tea. Like, oh, there's this fucking Stalker game. That shit looks awesome. And you could see that because there's a drop from PlayStation. You could see that holiday season, October, November, December, fucking Gamepass get a significant amount of subscribers. They get a whole bunch of sales. You could see it. And that's something that you wouldn't have seen in years. Like, the Xbox has not been competitive NPD figures wise. Well, I'm lying. At the beginning of this generation, they were competitive, but that was because of the shortage. Now everything is on an even keel. There is no shortage and everything is on the up and up. Xbox has not been competitive since the early days of the Xbox One. So they did not have a game that outperformed a PlayStation game since State of Decay, which that was a quick fluke. It was something to laugh at. It was just happened to be how God of War fell. But you haven't had anything like that in a long time. So, Just Wait says Sony in the past has rarely released in the holiday. Yeah, they released and they've had like an exclusive item that released between September and November. I mean, September and December. Yeah, that's September is like the kickoff. It's like the kickoff to the holiday season. Thoughts on Xbox Portable could be teased at an Xbox showcase. I mean, if that's going to be their next handheld / if they show the hybrid thing, that's already, you know, something that could get people all gassed up and excited. Who knows? I don't know.
If they do it this year, it's gonna be an underpowered piece of shit.
Yeah, if they release it this year, oh yeah, it definitely is. You already had your hardcore stuff this year. Yeah, see, man, I can't rock with that. Not your mother, only because the holiday season is for the hardcore. It's always been for the hardcore. Not saying you don't have casual stuff too, but but that's why, you know, you have showcases in the summer because the big bang out hardcore shit is coming at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I can't co-sign on that one. We don't want Concord nor Silent Hill 2 looking like a PlayStation. Yeah. They had Marvel Rivals in the same showcase. They can't take other studios. If I'm correct, it was in the court on track. No, they can do whatever they want as long as they get approval. There's nothing stopping them from trying to do another acquisition.
No, what he got confused with is Ubisoft.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's the only stipulation. Yeah, with the cloud, what's it called? Yeah, that's it. But there's nothing stopping them from acquiring another company at all, except for regulators. Now, would it be more difficult next time around? I would hope so. But then, you know, do they have the financial appetite to do it right now? I would hope not, but nothing's stopping them.
What is the fucking justification now for another studio buyout or publisher buyout?
Bragging on Twitter.
Like you're not already the biggest fucking publisher in the world.
Exactly.
You're still getting completely stomped out by the Switch and fucking PlayStation.
Yeah, PlayStation and Tencent. Really,
you can tell them that anymore.
Yeah.
You have literally the most popular franchise ever with Minecraft and Call of Duty. Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
To me, and that's where I say our legislators and our lawmakers are just fucking idiots. And I work with them. I know how idiotic they are, especially when it comes to tech. What Cold Blood said is all the proof that you need that Xbox shouldn't be allowed to buy nothing else. They have like the biggest portfolio ever, and they're still that much far behind PlayStation. That makes no fucking sense. That absolutely makes no sense. They're that be far behind PlayStation and Tencent. And it's not like Xbox is new. They've been around for decades. They've been more competitive when they were just trying to sell you an Xbox. So what's going on? That tells you how dangerous they are to the market and to the business sector, because they're incompetent and they don't put out quality product consistently. And all they want to do is to make up for their shortcomings in their financials. They just want to absorb other things. Like, that would send a warning bell off to me, like, hold on. The way you've managed this other shit, despite it being so large, and the fact that you're still behind, shows that you cannibalize everything and you just swallow it and spit out the bones, and you don't do anything that's helpful to the consumer. No, we're not approving this. You're just destroying the market just to eradicate your competition or to buy yourself out of the gap that you have. That's all they need to say, but they're so fucking stupid they don't get it. But that's why they would do it. They do it because they can't take that property. Okay, I'll put it to you like this. If PlayStation owned Call of Duty, what do you think they would do? How successful do you think they would be? If PlayStation owned Call of Duty, they would soar past Tencent and they would be at a level that nobody would ever be able to touch them. If they own Activision Blizzard. Give PlayStation Activision Blizzard and guess what happens? You see what I'm saying? And it's not.
They wouldn't buy them. Look, they wouldn't buy them if they had to go through the same shit Microsoft is going through right now.
Yeah.
Like putting it on cloud everywhere, putting it on every console, every fucking PC. Nah, they would say, that shit is either exclusive or we're not fucking giving away our money.
But you know what? PlayStation wouldn't have to do that because they're not dumbasses like the way Microsoft was listening and Satya was listening to Phil. Phil's the one that convinced them to go against their original plan and make Bethesda exclusive. That set the groundwork for Google to be heavily affected and gave them an excuse to run to the regulators. That's what started this all, was them making Bethesda exclusive because a bunch of whiny baby content creators were like, you better make that exclusive. Pierce was like, it doesn't make sense to have $8 billion and not making, because he's not a CEO suited for his position and he's too fucking stupid to separate the forest from the trees. Yeah, I said it. Because he was too fucking stupid to separate the forest from the trees, he shot himself in the foot with the Bethesda deal. So Sony would have, honestly, Cold Blood, Sony would have never had that issue because Google nobody would have been able to complain about them. I mean, Xbox would have said, but they have a monopoly or whatever. And just like the regulators said to PlayStation, it's not an issue. They would have said the same thing to Sony. I mean, they would have said the same thing for Sony. And it would have been over. It would have been over. It would have been over.
Boss, I see an issue here right now.
What's that?
You got 29 people watching. And
oh, come on. Yeah. Come on, y'all. And y'all want to know why we ain't going for it. Yeah. Come on. We're going to do better than that. 29 people. I mean, we have a good show for y'all. We got 29 people here and only 7 likes. We can get to the show. We know why y'all
now
came
you're
here.
leaving when you have to click the fucking like button, huh?
Bruh. You know, fuck that. Well, I'm not doing it. I'm not pressing it. I'm out. I'm out. It's time to watch Cold Eastwood. Crap gamer. I'm out. Adios, amigos. We're a village over here, man. We run like a family. You can be part of the family. We ain't like everybody else. Thank you. We're now at 13. Now we can move on with the shows. That's all we do. We're trying to get people to be considerate. We're going through all this stuff to put this shit together. It takes hours for us to get this together for y'all. And when we do it, because we do our research, we're looking up stuff. And all we ask is when y'all come in, hit that like button. That's it. All right, here we go. Okay, so, no. Let me go back here because I want to read this. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 scope was impacted by Xbox Series S limitations. Will run at 4K 30 frames per second on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was impacted by the Series S hardware limitations as developers could only make the game that was 25% bigger than its predecessor. Okay, so what they're actually saying, which it could be far worse, is that they made a game in another generation, but it's only 25% bigger. They said, as the weakest current generation console has only 25% more RAM, Warhouse Studio decided to make the game only 25% bigger than its predecessor. This isn't the first time we've heard how Microsoft's consoles impact development of multi-platform games, but it's still disappointing. Now, the interesting thing on this is Phil Spencer, a while ago when Baldur's Gate 3 was becoming an issue on the Series S, he had the audacity to say that the Xbox Series S, there is no fatal flaw in the machine. And he describes Larian's decision that they actually bent the knee to as far as not to support split screen co-op on the S. They said, well, it's hold on. Did I miss? I missed it. Okay, here it goes. They made a choice. They have a valid reason for this. I think the majority of people own the Series S, so it makes sense that if you go to Xbox, it has to work on the Series S. Otherwise, you're not going to be serving the majority of people, so it would be kind of silly to drop that. Like no. Like, if the thing is underpowered, why would I waste my resources on a game for a platform that's underperforming? That doesn't make any sense. It's just so much deflection. It says, now in a recent interview with IGN Xbox CEO Phil Spencer comments on the Series S debacle, saying that there isn't a flaw with the Xbox Series S on a machine level, and Microsoft plans to be more transparent and offer more clarity on what the Series S owner can expect. It says, I want to make sure console gaming is accessible to more people, and we think the price point of the console is a pretty important part of that. It's a fair question. I think some of the discussion in the community has maybe not come from us or the devs. It may be more of the community building this happened and that happened, so it must be about this. I think we could do more to add more clarity on where we are, and I look forward to doing that. Which he hasn't. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. The Series S, you duplicated the same issue that you ran into last gen with the 1X. You couldn't help it that time. That was Donnie D's fault. Donnie D created the Xbox One console with ESRAM. So when you dropped the 1X, you didn't want to make 1X games and Xbox One S games. You wanted it to just be a mid-gen refresh that boosted output to a certain degree. So your hands were tied, and you really couldn't use the Xbox One X in a way that you wanted to. Okay, fine. You can blame Donnie D on that. This generation, you decided on your own to make an underpowered box that developers like Warhouse Studios, makers of Kingdom Come, would be forced to build around, to where they would cut out aspirations of their game so it could be played on your console. And then we wonder why, and people start crying, why there's all these console exclusive games for PlayStation. I don't think people realize that this is not even by PlayStation's intervention. A lot of this is because people don't want to have to deal with the S. They have aspirations for their game. And they're like, if I built this game to include the S, then I got to cut out most of that shit. And I don't want to. It's not worth it. We'll try our hand with PlayStation.
I have a suggestion, Moss.
What's that, brother?
Can we make Xbox pay an actual Xbox Series S tax?
Yeah, I'm
like
I don't think
every
this is a
single
joke.
copy, like every single copy that comes out of this game, $10 Xbox has to pay out of their pocket. So we only pay $60.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it would be only fair, right?
Yeah, it would be. Because we're not getting it. Like they're telling you right now, we had a true next-gen vision. These mofos launched a console. We couldn't see that vision. We had to scale. It's only 25% bigger. But it's what, double the T-flops. All that shit, right? Like, stop it. Come on now. What are we doing here? From the very beginning, Phil lied and said all you got to do is scale up and scale down. Remember when they were saying that? Cold blood. You got to scale up and scale down.
That was the biggest bullshit I ever heard, bro. Even back then, when I was just in the chat, I was saying y'all full of it. Like that is not how it works on PC or nowhere else.
Nowhere. It sounds stupid. And y'all fell for it.
I mean, if everything else was the same, in the Series S, like in the Series X, just the GPU was different.
Yeah.
You might have some point,
Yeah.
But that was so much more different than that.
Different.
So much more.
Come on. You just got to scale up and scale. And then there was this stupid argument about, explain PC. Every AAA game that comes out isn't built for every single fucking PC out there, you dumb fucking nuts. There are recommended and minimum specs. So they cut off a bottom line of performance. They look at a scale and they say, go ahead.
I want to see someone tell me he is still okay with 8 gigabytes of RAM today. And can run everything and can run anything just like I do with 32.
They're gonna make excuses for it.
Fucking tell you that.
They're gonna make excuses for it. That's not the problem. And nothing against you.
Let's scale it. No, look, let's scale it back to a fucking app version of the game. Of a mobile.
Yeah.
Maybe then you have a point.
8 gigs of RAM. And nothing against you, Blue Fire Demon. I'm only using this because you brought this example up, and I know you weren't one of the ones that was cascading this. You just happened to be fed the information. But it's kind of like what Blue Demon Fire said. They're gonna say, well, no, I mean, Series S gonna make you a better developer. You know what I'm saying? It's just these developers are lazy. They just bloat. Oh.
Blue Fire Demon, that'd be the best fucking option, but it ain't happening.
Yeah. He says could release on big consoles and release on SS on a later date. Yeah, that would I Blue Fire Demon, I actually put that out there, but Phil is against it. And here's my thing.
Why? Why? Because the Series S is the biggest.
Exactly. It's selling more. He says it right here. He says, hold on, let me highlight this for y'all. He says it right here, y'all. He says that's the choice that they made. They have valid reasons for this, I think. The majority of people own a Series S, so it makes sense that if you go to Xbox, that it has to work on a Series S. Otherwise, you're not going to be serving the majority people. So it would be kind of silly to drop that. That's in his mind state. Phil is telling you we don't give a fuck about innovation and things getting better. We're selling more of this. We have our own individual selfish reasons of selling this box and holding back gaming. So we don't give a fuck if y'all want bigger worlds, if y'all want much more lush environments, if you want smarter NPCs, if you want better gameplay. We have to sell this box in order to survive, right? And you guys ate it up and made excuses for it. And not you, Blue Demon Fire. I'm not saying you. I'm talking about these other lum nuts that did it. When I say other, I'm not talking about you. You're not included. I'm just talking about these other listeners that are lum nuts that actually made excuses for this shit. Y'all ate it up, and guess what? They still failed. So you made excuses for Xbox. They held back gaming. You said it wouldn't matter. And you did all that in the hopes that they would excel. And that if people could just forget where they were holding gaming back at, they would excel. And they still failed. And they failed even worse than they did last time, when they weren't even trying. Y'all are just as egregious as they are. Because if you're not still buying this shit and buying these products and these services, they don't have the aptitude to even try this shit. Scale up and scale down. This is what they do on PC. There is minimum specs for a reason. Meaning, have you ever been, if you lum nuts that don't know what the fuck you're talking about, I want you to look up something. It's called GPU benchmark. Right? When you go to GPU benchmark, it lists a bunch of graphic cards and it has a number next to them. Okay? And that number tells you their aggregate score of their performance after some type of calculation. So in using those benchmarks in the testing and similar benchmarks in testing, developers will say, you know what? If something can't perform around this number, we're not going to record. We're not supporting it. We're not even going to say, we're not even trying to trim the fat or do anything to make sure that this card is supported. These are the numbers of performance that we're looking for. Anything within that range, we're going to support. It just so happens there are more PC parts than console parts, because there's more variations of PCs that you can have than you can have of consoles, right? But that doesn't mean that, because there's so many PC GPUs out there, this doesn't make sense. No, it's not about y'all are so fixated on quantity. That's why Xbox is able to beat y'all over the head with a cash register. Y'all are fixated over quantity. Y'all don't look at the qualitative number. It's not about the number of PC GPUs they support. It's all about the performance and the aggregate score that they have. These developers say, if it's not beyond this score, we're not supporting it. So mentioning how many GPUs happen to be supported is irrelevant. It has everything to do with the performance number that it provides. And whether there's 3 different APUs for consoles or 3,000, the Series S APU is too fucking weak. Along with not just the APU, but mainly the memory that's in the Series S, it's too fucking weak for these developers to realize their visions. That's just the way that it is. But y'all gobbled it up. Y'all made excuses for it and said, okay, now that we got everybody past this, all right. So now, Xbox, you go ahead and shine. And them motherfuckers fell off the cliff like Wile E. Coyote. Shout out to Juice. He says, Juice just became a member. Thank you, Juice. Appreciate it. You will not regret becoming a member. Trust me, especially starting this month. Crazy. Starfield nor Hellblade didn't have a problem. Man, shut up. Shut up. Go flat.
All I'm gonna say about that is creative decision.
Yeah, creative decisions. Shut up! True version, I can't even take you seriously. Can't cut out your best-selling console. Yeah, and that's all Xbox was trying to do. They're trying to increase MAUs. They were trying to compete at first. They really thought they could compete. We saw about an email that Phil sent Satya. But when they still just focused on MAUs, they kept pumping out that Series S because they hoped that it would push MAUs. Why does Xbox want MAUs? What is so important about MAUs, you may ask? Well, think about it. Xbox routinely tells you that console gaming or gaming in general has become stagnant and that they don't see any growth in gaming. That's baloney. Hip hop gamer, and I've done research over the weekend when I could, and other people have spoken to the fact that you're going to see ads become more predominant in these services. Yeah, us Ubisoft Plus subscribers, EA subscribers. I doubt Sony would try this shit, but you can't put anything against anybody in these services, these subscription services, where you're going to start seeing ads. Microsoft is going to be the most egregious with it. They're already egregious with it on Windows 11. They're already getting complaints from the biggest Microsoft supporters about this. So they're going to lead the charge on this. But when you focus on MAUs over sales, that creates a whole nother revenue stream. What is that revenue stream? Ad money, ad revenue. That's why Satya is so big on subscriptions. That's why he was big on subscriptions. Ad revenue is always, people are always trying to market their products. In a fluctuating world where things may go up and down, marketing will always persist because you always got to talk about your product or your service. So now they're trying to open the floodgates to ad revenue. So if I'm not worried about individual sales, and let's just say I do get 80 million people on Game Pass, not only am I getting that Game Pass money, but I'm getting ad revenue for that Game Pass money too. So even if the game is not the best, like a Call of Duty, if they keep dropping 58 dud Call of Duties, it doesn't matter. People still fling to it like flies on shit. People are going to, might come to Game Pass or might sign up for Game Pass because it's there. They're hoping. And if that does happen to a certain extent and it can drive more people on there, then that'll be more lucrative to ads for these advertisers. They don't care if the game is 58 as long as y'all keep coming. Okay, they sucked dry this game. Well, we're going to buy a new company. We're going to buy a new studio. And we're going to throw that game in Game Pass. And then we're going to wear that one the fuck out. You see how this is reciprocal? And that's why I told you guys, don't be like, oh, well, who cares if PlayStation gives up the end of the year? Any success that they see off of any gimmicks is going to further that agenda. They want that ad revenue. That's why they want MAU so bad. Now, PlayStation wants MAUs because for investor purposes, investors are looking at MAUs and they're like, whoa, they don't understand because they're stupid too. That's why they're doing what they're doing with the sign-ins for God of War and all that other stuff. Whatever. It's their product. They do what as far as I'm concerned, they do what they want. I don't care. But that's why MAUs is so important to Xbox. Because they get to flaunt it and say, look, we're doing this across the board at Microsoft. We did it with Windows 11. People are groaning, but who cares? And then we're going to be doing this with the game division too. Like we're going to roll it out on Game Pass, and then our individual games, we might roll it out. Shit. And then who knows? If PlayStation lets us When you played Sea of Thieves that you bought a la carte because it's a Microsoft game, we might put an ad. You might have to deal with an ad in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? If PlayStation lets us, or if these other people let us, like, hey, look, we're not competing. We're selling our games as a publisher, but we got ads in our games, man. Look at Ubisoft did it. Didn't Ubisoft? What game was that, Cold Blood, that Ubisoft put an ad in?
I think it was Assassin's Creed, right?
Yeah, wasn't it Valhalla?
Probably.
Yeah, it was one they did it, and I think it was the console version. May have been the PC version. I could be wrong. I mean, technically, it's their game, and PlayStation and Xbox, I don't think has any byline that says, hey, they would have to add some. And I don't think that's a reflection of PlayStation, or Nintendo. If they allow, Xbox to put games on their thing, that's a reflection mainly of Xbox. But they could very well do that and say, we're going to be putting ads in these fucking games. That's why MAUs are important, and that's what makes Microsoft really more dangerous than I think we ever understood. I don't care about them winning, or quote unquote, whatever that fucking means, or them. I don't care about them making money. If they do gaming right, sure, you should make a whole bunch of fucking money. But you're not going to completely gut and eradicate and do the Microsoft type thing where you just suck us dry and spit the bones out and go out to the next thing. That's what they're looking to do. I got to be cognizant of that shit. Driving a stock Honda Civic at Daytona will make you a better racer. Hellblade was an Amtrak game on rails, and Starfield was a buggy mess at 30 frames per second. You mean how Starfield released at 30 on the Series X and 60 frames till a later patch? Yeah. I'm boycotting my until Sony give us exclusive reveal. Gotta take a stand. Screw you. We got Impatient Fire says Series S is a piece of crap. Good to see you here, Impatient Fire. Lono Destiny went pretty mid. Man Overboard said, how was Hellblade? So yeah, we got a lot to think about when it comes to how we're looking at this. I want to show you guys something else too. So this is an excerpt from a Tech Radar article in response to the Series S bottleneck, because people are still denying it. And here's somebody that is pro Xbox trying to explain this bottleneck. They're trying to explain it away. But in their attempt in explaining it away, they actually make it worse. And they pretty much just said what we've been saying inadvertently, that this does exist. You can't just scale up and scale down. That's absurd. What was this excerpt? Now, this is coming from Cass Cappendale, who is the CEO of Poppyworks, a studio that is currently developing the 2.5D hack and slash Slave Zero X, which is being published by Ziggurat Interactive on Xbox One, Series X and S, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch. Rose McKee is the game's lead producer and is working with Neville Attard, the founder of the game and developer on the console porter. Okay, whatever. All right, so this is what the CEO had to say. Quote, multi-platform development doesn't have to be difficult, Carpendale explains. Adding multi-platform support to a game that wasn't developed with that in mind is where the trouble comes from. This could go some way to help explain some of the issues faced by Baldur's Gate 3, which spent years as a PC exclusive title throughout its early access development. If the developers, they continue, quote, if the developers always keep the slowest platform they are targeting in mind, first and foremost, then the other platform should be easier to deal with. That is Cappendale trying to explain away the bottleneck of the Series S to say, hey, it's a developer thing. They should have considered the Series S. So what did they consider the Series S? The slowest platform they are targeting in mind. Now, to stomp out their excuse that it was a PC exclusive, so they didn't know what they were working with, that's bullpucky. Larian Studios don't just make PC games, they deal with the console games too. You don't think they have a PlayStation dev kit that they were working on in parallel to this to a certain degree? No. Of course that's not the case. They had one. There were no problems with PlayStation, right? But they had to consider what? The slowest platform. And what was the slowest platform? The Series S. So you see how with even a game like Baldur's Gate, which I'm not saying there's not a lot happening in the game, but it's not, to credit Starfield as far as its breadth and its depth, as far as how much shit is in there, it's not Starfield, right? But a game like that to where it just simply can't do split screen co-op or couch co-op. Just imagine how much of that game, how much of Kingdom Come Deliverance had to be cut out because of the Series S. And the fact that it's going to be 4K 30 on consoles. That proves to you the Series S is a piece of shit that's held back gaming that y'all capped for. Any other developer would have probably looked at that fact and said, you know what? I'm just not going to build for Xbox. But I'm going to tell you why Warhouse Studios done it. Warhouse Studios in particular. And I don't know them like personally, but I've chatted with and I've had the opportunity to engage with one of their lead marketing people. His name is Rick. I forget his last name. Warhouse Studios, they're huge Xbox fans. As you can tell, Elder Rings, Elder Scroll was a huge, what do you call that? Inspiration for them. You know, the fighting in Elder Scrolls and stuff like they love those games. And the people at Warhouse Studios, they love Xbox because of it. Why do I know? Because Rick, one of the main marketers for Warhouse Studios in this game, was often on a show that was pivotal for this channel. The show was called Xbox Uncut. We've had the homie Will Sinks on here, right? And so I was one of the faithful listeners when I was in my Xbox days, and Rick would normally come on the show and talk about the game and talk about his affinity for Xbox and talk about Xbox news and how much he favored Xbox and all that other stuff, right? Because of that, their old Western RPG lineage that Xbox had. And it's because of that affinity for Xbox, I feel like they're even trying, they're going to even try to develop around the Series S. I'm hoping that Warhouse Studios, like I had to do, comes to their senses, and then when it comes to Kingdom Come Deliverance 3, if Xbox ain't got their shit together, they just move on. Because it's not cool that they got to hold back what they make because a multi-trillion-dollar company can't get its shit together. At that point, you can't look at it at a micro level and say, Phil, Aaron, Matt Booty, Sarah Martin. You got to look at it at a main from 5,000 feet and say, you're a multi-trillion-dollar company. There are people that make way less than you do. And they do this a lot better. I'm pretty sure there's more people out there. Get rid of these motherfuckers, please. The moment y'all stop looking at these companies like that and y'all start getting sucked into this evangelism marketing and you start getting attached to the individual, that's when it becomes a problem. Like me and Cold Blood, we disagree about Hermholz on a certain scale. If they were to get rid of Herm, and I'm not saying, and again, for clarity, because you guys got this mixed up, part of it was my fault Friday. I'm not saying that Cold Blood is saying that he wants Hermholz gone. No, that's not what he said. But let's just say it got to a point where he felt that way. And me and him debate why that's not necessary. If PlayStation gets up one day and says, you know what, we happen to be listening to this podcast, this dude named Cold Blood was spot on. Fucking Hermholtz, get out of here. Am I shedding a tear? No. Why? Because I have confidence in the PlayStation infrastructure, in their keen eye for quality. Will they slip up and fuck up here and there? Of course. But I feel like overall, they are competent enough to rebound from certain setbacks and do better. Y'all can't say the same thing about Xbox. Why? Because y'all don't even evaluate it from that level. You guys are so attached at the micro level to the personality, you don't even evaluate their competency. This is the most incompetent thing I've ever seen. I've been gaming for 35 plus years. I've seen the ColecoVision. I've seen the Atari 5200 fail. I saw the Sega Saturn and the Sega CD fail. I've seen the Dreamcast flop. I've seen GameCube buckle. I've seen Xbox get beat to the white meat, 29 million to 150 million. I've seen Stadia fail. I've seen a whole bunch of shit. I've never seen this level of incompetence before, where you come in with a certain situation that your bottlenecks, so your mid-gen refresh or your upper echelon console underperforms, and you lose the generation because of that. That was your last strike to try to do something and you failed at it, but then you walked into something that wasn't totally your fault. But instead of learning from that lesson, you replicate the same exact mishap. I've never seen anything like that before. And this is the person that's being left in charge of gaming at one of the worst companies to try to attempt gaming right now, which is Microsoft. That level of incompetency is in charge there. Where he's lied to you and told you he want to scale up and scale down, but now he's telling you, I get it, it's a choice that they made, but you don't want to leave the Series S behind because we done fooled so many people. My message to Warhouse Studios and everybody else is just leave. Just like stop, don't make anything else for them. Don't make anything else with them if you got to compromise that much. I want to show you guys another thing, and then we're going to continue to go with the chat. So this is something that came out from Red Dragon, and I know everyone's like, Red Dragon's just an Xbox hater. Oh, why are you putting him out there? Look, here's the thing. I said this in our video that we premiered earlier, that you'll see again at 5. If an illiterate man tells you that a stop sign, hey, look, that stop sign says stop. Is it the stop sign's fault that even the illiterate man knows what it is? Are you going to say, oh no, that can't be stop, say stop because this illiterate man said so? No, the stop sign still says stop. I think the bigger message is it's so evident what it says that even the illiterate man knows what it says, right? So you can say what you want about Red Dragon, all right? I'm not here to debate his validity, but it's so evident of what's going on with Xbox. It don't matter who shows you this shit. Red Dragon, Red Megan, it doesn't matter. They are up to some serious shit that you need to be aware of. This comes from Liam. I'm assuming a journalist that had an opportunity to talk to people from ABK once they were let go in Toys from Bob before they did their new restructuring. He says something that has become apparent to me recently as I've been talking to developers from Toys for Bob and other former ABK people is that there absolutely are journalists running interference for Microsoft and have regurgitated blatant falsehoods on their behalf. In comes in this from Jazz Gordon. Oh, the illustrious Jazz Gordon of Windows Central. He writes on Twitter, never claimed to be a journalist. Called myself a blogger. Generally because I never trained in journalism. Learning as I go. I fucked up a lot. Got things wrong. But it's not out of malice. It's just out of general stupidity. And I apologize profusely for it. I can only try to do better. With good faith advice from people who take it upon themselves to give it. I appreciate you. I want to give my family, excuse me. I want to give my family a better future. Hold on, give me. I want to give my family a better future. Otherwise, I'd find a job that wasn't so publicly facing, because I'm so unintentionally bad at this. I'm dealing with people. I'm sorry. Say the crocodile tears. Ain't nobody trying this shit. You come out here routinely, bro, and you miscongregate information without checking it thoroughly. You're not the only one that happens to be in the writing space or in the journo space of gaming that likes Xbox. I'll give it to Derek Strickland of Tweaktown. Now, some of his assessments are a little bit off the wall, but you know that they're assessments over information he's trying to cascade. You come out here like you're an Xbox rep and you routinely give false information and you don't learn from it. You just rinse and repeat. And Jazz, you're not stupid. We know that. We can tell. I've met plenty of stupid people in my life. Nobody routinely does this mistake over and over again unless there's an incentive. And I know, dealing with you personally, that when you came out there with that dog shit about Destiny on xCloud versus Destiny on Stadia, that was a hit job. Nobody's wiping your face from these crocodile tears. You are of these people that are running interference for Microsoft. Because it's fallen so badly for you, and Microsoft now is like, well, we don't need these people anymore. They're disposable. And now that you're being outed for what you are, we're not wiping the tears from your face. You either do better or get ousted. Because people like that, they only have a limited amount of time before they get ousted. I'll never forget, and this is why Jazz blocked me, which I really don't care. But Jazz blocked me because he had something to say one day when my mentor, Next Gen 720, had brought to the attention of many that, hey, developers behind the scenes are letting people know there's some issues with Crackdown. And it's been put on the table that Crackdown, is in danger of being canceled. Or at least there were conversations around it. That's the way it was being phrased. So Jazz gets wind of Zeke doing a show like that and says, oh, there's nothing wrong with Crackdown. Crackdown, I just played a demo of it. Everything is great about Crackdown. Oh, that guy's an idiot. So I called him out on it. And he blocked me. If you can't stand on your, let me give you another example. Paul Tassi. Paul Tassi, I don't think is running interference for anyone. He just says some dumb shit here and there. Paul Tassi, with everything that I've thrown at his ass, has never blocked me. He's brought it right back or just ignored me. That's someone that I can deem, regardless of this dumb shit or sometimes some of the smarter things he may say, I can look at him and say, you know what? I don't feel like he's running interference for anybody. But if your first inclination, because you're being challenged, is to block somebody, that's because you can't defend what's being put out there. You can't defend it. Because coming on a social media platform that you're going to interact with the public. And there's going to be different takes of what you got to say. So if you can't defend it just because you're being challenged, not because someone's being rude, someone's being nasty, but because you're being challenged, I think that puts a scarlet letter on you. And you're likely running interference for Xbox. So no, I don't care about this crocodile tears. I wanted to feed my family. Your need, we all got to feed our family. I got to feed my family. After I end this shit, I got to go to my other business and do some shit I don't want to do. I got to feed, we all got to feed our family. Fuck out of here. I'm not trying to hear that shit. People put these tearjerker ass statements out here and y'all fall for it. Y'all just slop it up. We all got to feed our family. Your need to feed your family doesn't mean that you get to rob me of facts and of truth and cascade misinformation to me. You're not a dumb person. Prime example. I don't think I'm a dumb person. Some of you might think I'm dumb. My enthusiasm for Stadia, and I feel most of the stuff that I was telling you guys as far as what the platform was capable of, shouting out the lies, that stuff was on point. But there was a critical point that I did miss. I did not take into consideration the fact that Google had a penchant for dropping shit, especially this new CEO and this new board. Didn't take that into consideration, didn't tether that to what I was reporting, and that could have, changed the trajectory of what I was saying. I still would have been stamping out the misinformation. I still feel like it would have been a good platform for people, but there would have been a lot more, you know what, I hope they don't do this, but I feel like here's the incentive that they do continue on this way, right? And I've learned from that. There's been a whole bunch of people hit me up. Hey man, Google is looking to do this and Google is looking to do that. I used to have motherfuckers from Google feed me shit. I'm not paying it any attention because I've learned from that mistake, right? And nothing against the Stadia people. The Stadia people, even all the way up to Phil Harrison, I feel like those were good people. It's just that Phil Harrison in particular, and I feel like Jack Buser, even though he stayed at Google, they looked at what Google wasn't trying to do or how Google wasn't supporting them, and they said, these motherfuckers ain't serious. Phil Harrison went back to the UK, and Dov Zimmerich had to come in and try to, rebound it for the final throws. Phil Harrison said, I'm out of here. I'm already rich. I'm already retired. I've already done this successfully. I've done it successfully with PlayStation. I've done it successfully with my last business. I'm out of here. Y'all motherfuckers ain't serious. And we found that out from the court documents last year that were released when we found out that Phil Harrison was trying to get an investment in Fortnite. He was trying to get invested in Fortnite in that way, and he could foresee that Fortnite was going to be something big, and he wanted to put it on Stadia. So he said, I'm out of here. I think Jack Buser was like, and I'm not putting words in Jack's mouth. Shout out to you, Jack. I'm not putting words in Jack's mouth, but I think even Jack Buser probably was like, these motherfuckers ain't serious. Google's game for cloud. Y'all do that shit. And he went on his business. That's my assessment. I've never gotten that from any source that's how the way Jack felt. That's just my assessment, right? But I've learned from that experience. I'll be damned if Google comes out with another product and I jump on it as soon as it pops up. Hell no. I'm sitting there waiting like the rest of y'all. I might be sitting next to the motherfucking, what's dude's name? Killed by Google dude. I might be sitting, what you think about this? Oh man, this might be number 462. I might be sitting next with him, rapping to him about it. I had to give him his flowers the day that they announced that it died. That's learning from your mistakes. Only an idiot wouldn't be able to do that. Jazz, you're not an idiot. You're just a simple mofo for sitting there cascading all this misinformation and then now want to play victim. Get out of here. Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. Now, all of you, the lot of you content creators that got an answer for this dog shit, now you want to make it seem like it's somebody else's fault. Y'all want to deflect. PlayStation is going to PC day and day. Oh no, I didn't know this was going to happen. Oh man, how did it? It's Satya and Nadella's fault. No. All of this stuff was evident that was wrong with Microsoft or Xbox, particularly this generation, from the very beginning. And you glossed over it in hopes that other people would gloss over it and the platform would be successful. And being that didn't happen, we are left with the residue of gaming being held back, right? Lesser performant stuff, empty shells of ideas based off your lies. If you would have done your job and just informed the people properly, instead of cheerleading for something that was fictitious, gamers would be better off. You've done this over and over again. Why are we all of a sudden now going to sit there and play tearjerker for you? Oh man, he wants to feed his family. Like nobody has to feed their family. There's a bunch of people that do what you do. Derek Strickland has to feed his family. There's plenty of people that got to feed their families. They don't do what you do. Get out of here with that cockamamie bullshit. It's time for y'all to be taken to task. The Series S is a bottleneck. It is holding back gaming. Now there's talk about Cold Blood. Oh, they may have translated this wrong. Whatever. This may have been translated wrong. They didn't. We don't know if they said this. Actually, this could be another Neil Druckmann thing where they mistranslated. Did we really need this interview to know that this? No. When Baldur's Gate 3 went through what Baldur's Gate 3 went through, that was everything that there needed to be said. We knew when the devs were coming out and talking about this and y'all were trying to shame them. We knew that. This is all pathetic deflection. You're not going to get away with here. Period. So I'm still going to look forward to this game. I hope it's a banger. But you guys are full of crap, man. Totally. Nobody's falling for your bullshit. Oh my God. I gotta feed my family, man. I had to lie to y'all, man. I had to feed my family. Oh, fuck. Dumb shit. We all gotta feed our families, bro. Get it together. Let's get to the chat. So he is trying to tell Larian Studios, one of the most decorated studios in the world, how to develop a game better. Yeah, I couldn't believe. Yeah, I couldn't believe it myself, Juice. That's what they trying to do. How come Microsoft didn't have problems? Microsoft didn't have problems? Okay. Your comedy today is running flat, bro. It's still funny. It just doesn't add a punch like.
Yeah, because look, well, we agree with True Virgil on the state of play being trash. So yeah. What else is there to argue with him? Really?
He said that's it. Just give him that one. Okay, all right, okay, yeah. Oh shit. Microsoft has a lot of problems with gaming. He said, "Did you see Stadia fail, Bandit?" I didn't. The way I phrased it was, the earliest I would see them bowing out is 2024. I was a year off. My thought process was they would at least stick it out until, because they wanted to integrate with YouTube. Once they integrated with YouTube, and then they could, PewDiePie or somebody could plop, like just give out 5 codes and bring people in the game. If it didn't win people over, then I said, okay, yeah, they would get out. But I said that my doomsday scenario was 2024. I was a year off. Impatient Fire says, facts. I've been gaming for 35 years too, and Phil is the worst gaming CR. Absolutely. I don't even know how he still has a job. I don't know. Well, I know how he still has a job because he successfully made himself synonymous with the brand. Like, I don't think he's a byproduct of fanboyism. I don't think if fanboyism was as rampant as it was. And Twitter kind of helped with that. Because it used to be on the individual forums. Like the only person I knew of back in the day was Peter Moore. I didn't know nobody else. I knew of Yoshida, but all I knew was Peter Moore. I didn't know, and I knew of Reggie Fils-Aimé. I didn't know any other exec anywhere else. I was just arguing in regards to the platform. But when you get to Twitter, it does go down the rabbit hole a little bit further. Excuse me. And then they start getting into people. And so then the discussion started becoming Donnie D. You know what I'm saying? And then it was like the ponies was like, yeah, Donnie D's a problem. Donnie D, evil Microsoft. It started becoming about evil Microsoft and Donnie D. Right? And the Xbox community was in a state of shock because we had just knew that we had put our foot on PlayStation's neck and we cracked it. That's what we thought. We thought it was over for PlayStation. Going into this generation, we were going to kill it. Connect 2.0 was going to kill it. And it was over. And come to find out, the summer showcase didn't go as well. The shit leading up to E3 didn't go well. And E3 didn't go well, especially when they released that price. And we were all left scrambling. And so then it became more about this evil Donnie D evil. And that's where I feel like it got into the micro discussion of people. You know, I knew who Jack Tretton was too. But it started getting more into the micro discussion of people. And so evil Donnie D. So in comes Phil Spencer, a lot more likable guy. He looks like the gamer and all that other stuff. And so then I think the Xbox people were like, see, you guys were talking about Donnie D. This guy is the polar opposite of Donnie D, and he says all the right things. And I think at that point in time, the ponies knew that they had us in when I say us, I mean me and my former Xbox self. They had us against the ropes. And they kept hammering on Phil. Phil isn't good. Phil isn't good at what he do. And then we just stayed focused there. And then by so much time, we got so focused in staying in that corner that we never left that corner. We never moved around the ring where the PlayStation people freely bounced around the ring, came into that corner store, pop, 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 every now and again. Every so often, they come in that corner and they would get caught. But more often than not, they had the freedom around the ring to just dance like Muhammad Ali, come in, pop, 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 pop us, and come back. And that, I think, explains the silo that Xbox gamers are in. We are like in a corner trying to guard Phil, with Phil like behind us in a corner. And we got our guard up trying to guard Phil and block him from these PlayStation floors. Instead of us dancing and leaving Phil on his own devices to defend himself and prove himself, instead of just battling these PlayStation people with, hey, who got the better games? All right, we don't right now. Pop, pop. All right, you know what I'm saying? Well, damn, we beating y'all on the better exclusives. All right, we gotta get better at that. Pop, pop, pop. You know, who has the better technology? All right, damn, we lost that pop. We've lost everything being so focused on guarding Phil. It kind of reminds me, like PlayStation's they've been in total control since the beginning of the Xbox One generation. They got y'all chasing y'all tail about first party games. That means nothing. If you're okay, Hellblade flopped. Let's be honest. Hellblade flopped. I don't know what Indiana Jones is going to do. What the fuck is Avowed going to do? Let's be real. What is Avowed going to do? Your best game for 2024, unless Gears is coming out, which I doubt Gears is coming out this year, your best game for 2024 is Stalker 2. What is Stalker 2? It's a third-party exclusive. It's a third-party timed exclusive. So all this talk about, the first party, it doesn't matter. That was just some shenanigans that PlayStation put out there to play rope-a-dope with you. Y'all are focused on the most minimal things, and you've exhausted so much energy protecting Phil Spencer. It's time for you, Xbox gamer, to finally get out of that corner. You've been stuck in that corner protecting Phil and trying to shield him from punches for the last 10 years. Get the fuck out of that corner, box, and really survey the boxing ring and really do some analysis on what Xbox is doing? And do they deserve not only your vote of confidence, but your dollar? Says now Microsoft wants these devs to scale lower to a damn Xbox handheld. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, really what it is to be fair, all things PlayStation, I don't think that's what they want them to do. They are going to make an open platform game. And they're going to, an open platform system where it just runs like on a PC, and they're going to have to individually make sure that games work on there. They'll probably release packs on there. Like, for instance, when a new game comes out on your PC and GeForce releases like a new pack, for the drivers and shit like that. That's what they're going to do, I think. So there might not be much lifting that they're expecting the publishers and the developers to do, and I hope not. Because let's look at the Steam Deck, and this is going to make a lot of people mad. I don't give a fuck. Steam Deck sold, what, 10 million? Cold Blood, how much did the Steam Deck sell? 10 million? Or was it even that?
3 million.
Much? Yeah, I think like 2 or 3 million. How much did Steam Deck sell? Yeah. It's 3 million as of 2023. The last reported numbers. When did the Steam Deck come out? Did it come out 2022? When did Steam Deck release? Yeah, February 2022. So we're in June of 2024, almost 2.5 years later, and the Steam Deck sold 3 million. I hope Xbox doesn't think that people are going to optimize for their shit. They better do it on their own with drivers and stuff. You know what I mean? Sony has lots of problems with gaming. Oh, whatever. FaZe, stop it. Stop it. I will say this. Sony is not perfect. No way, shape, or form. They were never perfect. No company is perfect. Sony had problems in the PlayStation 2 era when it came to their online stuff, and people would complain when online started becoming a thing. They've always had problems. There were always issues. There is no company that's flawless. But trying to take the dire state that Xbox is in as a platform, and particularly as a platform, but even as a brand, and trying to somehow build those issues up to be equivalent to the challenges that Sony and Nintendo are going through is ridiculous. PlayStation has decimated Xbox more so than it ever has. This is the most profitable PlayStation has ever done. I don't want to hear any jack shit about inflation, because you never talked about inflation before. And when you're in marketing, when you do marketing, that's why in the market they want you to make more money, because they're considering inflation. So the fact of the matter is, they've made more profit than they've ever done before. They're selling at a capacity in North America. They're selling 8% higher in North America, the largest console region out there, than they've ever had. Even according to VG charts, they're ahead of Xbox 6 million. Now that's VG chart. That, give or take 5 million. Really, you never know. Those are all guesstimates, that they calculate. They've gotten a lot better over the years, but those are guesstimates. But if Xbox is not competing in North America, like if they're not within 1 million, maybe 2, you could forget it. Because there's regions they're losing 10-1 at. And I think globally it's like 3-1, if not higher. This past year it was 5-1 globally. So they had a strong start only because PlayStation had supply shortages. As soon as those supply shortages were over with, they're losing worse than before. And we keep hearing all this stuff about, oh man, first it was Cold Blood. This is where people like FaZe, y'all gotta stop listening to Cold, stop listening to these content creators. They're failing you, bruh. Become an MM2K Gaming and Cold Blood Gaming believer. Listen to us. We cut into 20 minutes of our show kicking Sony in the ribs. And we love PlayStation. But we ain't gonna excuse their dog shit. You're better off learning from us. Don't be a corporate shield. Don't be a corporate mouthpiece. Don't sit in some silo thinking that you got to defend a multi-trillion-dollar company no matter what it does. That's bullshit. This is not a sports team. This is your consumer dollars. They work for you. You don't work for them. Cut all that rhetoric aside. Xbox gamers, please understand, this was not supposed to be like this, right? Phil told Satya, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Y'all were at the beginning of the generation, oh, we're not going to compromise 60. I'm not gaming at under 60 frames per second because y'all thought Sony was going to do it. The moment you realized that PlayStation wasn't compromising 60, but it was actually Xbox compromising 60. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. It's their vision. Sound like some corporate schmucks. Sony and Nintendo's challenges that any business comes across, whether you're doing great or not, any of those challenges that are within the market, they pale in comparison to what Xbox is going through. Xbox in the middle of a generation has to change its identity. They actually wanted to compete. Hence that email. Believe what people say when they think no one's paying attention. Before Phil or Satya ever figured that their emails would be sequestered and they would have to turn them into a court case, they said their truths. And Phil's truth at the time, as he felt like with Gamepass and particularly with the consoles, he said the Xbox consoles were better and that we got the better, and people would believe it. And that was an abysmal failure of an approach and an assessment. The guy said that Redfall scored double digits higher in their internal evaluation than it actually did. But even before that, he told you Crackdown 3 was the game that you deserved. Stop it. Stop trying to contrast Xbox's woes to PlayStation's and Nintendo's challenges. Okay? Stop doing it. It's not working. Most profitable ever. Nintendo's still killing it. They're about to come out with the Switch 2. Where does that leave? They're about to come out with the Switch 2. PlayStation's about to drop the PlayStation 5 Pro. Where does that leave Xbox? Did y'all think about that? Where does that leave Xbox? Besides publishing. The only bright spots that y'all have seen is publishing y'all games on PlayStation. Y'all are the new Ubisoft. That's it. And y'all can have fanboys. There's Ubisoft fanboys. Shit, I was one. But nobody's trying to compare Ubisoft to PlayStation. Get out of this imaginary zone that Xbox having to do a full stop and a repivot of their entire brand is the same as some of the challenges, profit margin challenges or the challenges with the yen that PlayStation is seeing, or some of the other challenges that Nintendo are seeing with some of its acquisitions. Stop it. some of the challenges that it's seeing with its cloud partnerships or whatever. No. Them two mugs is high, they're flying high. Xbox had to stop, full pivot, and become a publisher when they didn't think so at the beginning of the generation. It's not the same. Sony has its own issues, but not anyway. Exactly. We got to stop this. This is what I'm saying. Stop it. Eminem Xbox's best game. It was Sea of Thieves on PlayStation. Yeah, that was like the PlayStation. Xbox's bright spot is releasing their games on PlayStation. Imagine that. In Fallout. Is putting their IP on TV and making sure that IP is multiplat, right? Putting the IP on TV, making sure that the IP is multiplat, and putting their games on PlayStation. I want to show you guys something before we start winding this down. I want to show you guys how critically important it is to understand why this is bad. Oh, this is so bad. Hold on. So bad. All right. Let's go here. This is April NPD or the Sakana report, right? Look at what's top. Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is only on PlayStation 5. Fallout, with its groundswell of support. And this is to my PC people too, because y'all think that y'all run this shit, right? Y'all think y'all run this shit. I'm going to show you how much you need to chill with that. Fallout 4, which was ranked high. They even started beating out Helldivers 2 once that TV series came out, right? Fallout 4, which is everywhere, right? It's on everything. It still was 5th place, despite all the shit that it was on, including PC, right? Stellar Blade, only on PlayStation 5, was number 1. Stellar Blade was. Here's what I think needs to be understood. Microsoft is trying to find its new way as a publisher, and I think that's important that they do so. Shout out to Geek to Sneak for being a member for 2 consecutive months. We appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. No doubt that that Microsoft is finding its footing as a publisher, and that's fine. I would have wished that they would have been able to do so, because look, you look at Grounded and Sea of Thieves, right? Sea of Thieves is 4th above Grounded, right? And think of why do you think Sea of Thieves is 4th? See, the difference between Fallout and Sea of Thieves is Fallout got popular because it was everywhere, right? And it was starting to get popular in sales. But all it took was for Sea of Thieves to be new on PlayStation. Sea of Thieves to be new on PlayStation or to outperform Fallout. Because it didn't outperform everywhere. You see what I'm saying? See, Fallout got a boost everywhere because of the TV show. Sea of Thieves just got a boost because it was a new game on PlayStation. That's the power of PlayStation. I don't care how many devices or many platforms that you're on. PlayStation, and I'm taking this from Porter Rock, is such a powerful strategic marketplace that they can afford to treat PC as just a secondary place to make more money. Once our games sunset, let's put them on PC and see if they can make more money. They can afford to do that. They don't have to be polygamous with their games. You know what I'm saying? And share them with everybody instantaneously, day and date, because Xbox is doing it. Xbox was trying to find its way. And all that other stuff that Xbox was doing didn't work. It didn't work until what? Until they started publishing on PlayStation. Once they started publishing on PlayStation, oh my God, look at this. Look at all this. Look at how grounded's back up here. Come on, y'all. What are we doing here? So understand the power of PlayStation. When you understand the power of PlayStation, you know why I gawk and I even laugh at those that try to compare PlayStation and Nintendo challenges to Xbox woes. They're not comparable. Geek the Sneak says, hey, yo. Shout out, Geek. Good to see you, good brother. Thank you again for the 2 months of membership. So, yeah, there you have it, folks. Xbox is holding back gaming with the Series S. At least PC gamers, they said if you got a 4080 with DLSS, you can get up to 80 frames. That's in the article as well. But there's probably so much more that they wanted to do in the game, and they're not going to release like a PC version where there's so much more that's in there. They're going to, when they develop from the lowest common denominator, and then they just add what they can while still keeping the core game. And that core game is significantly less than what it would be because of the Series S. So yeah. And I think that, and you know what, this whole hybrid approach with Xbox, I'm all for, not because they can't battle in the console war, but under Phil Spencer, as long as he's still in charge, they have no idea of what to do when it comes to consoles, because all they're going to do is hold back even more. This fool replicated the same bottleneck that he was thrown into last gen. I can't believe it. The worst gaming CEO ever. But those are my thoughts. All right, we're going to wind up and get ready to get out of here. Cold Blood, did you have any final thoughts before we get out of here, brother?
No, not really.
Yeah, join us tomorrow. We're going to be talking more about PlayStation. And again, a lot of you Xbox enthusiasts, hit that membership button. Consider hitting that membership button. I really do think that you guys need to hear everything we have to say during this moment, so y'all can understand that, yes, you can show your support for a platform. You ain't got to be indoctrinated. Come on now. And look, the chat was coming at us. Juice, Not Your Mother, everybody was coming at us. They was doing a little bit again. You know, they call Cold Blood. They were doing all types. They was slinging all types of tomatoes at us. Boo! We gonna speak our truth. Not that we don't care, but we gonna speak our truth. We care about what y'all have to say, but we don't care to where it's going to change our perception. That's the way it's supposed to be when you're a consumer. Stop being indoctrinated fools that just babble on behalf of multi-trillion-dollar companies, and get out of that corner. Stop guarding Phil Spencer. Let him fight in his own battles. You just need to fight and make sure that you're getting good gaming, good quality content, and you're getting the biggest bang for your buck. With that said, I'm out of here, man. You'll catch us tomorrow. And check our video. If you missed the intro to this video and you just want to see that video on its own, go watch the video when it goes live at the top of the hour in about 55 minutes. All right, y'all, we're out of here. Till next time, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for hitting that like button if you haven't hit it again. Until next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace. And stay tuned, because starting tomorrow, I should have a video what we're going to be talking about, because Cold Blood and I gotta hash this out. We're going to be talking about our members giveaway. All right, till next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.